Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's been a couple of days since we've seen the balance patch have its huge, gigantic impact on the meta. You're going to see a lot of the same decks as before, as we're going to recommend decks that I can safely recommend to climb to either, I don't know, Diamond, Gold, Platinum, or Legend for the very first time. And well, craft at your own risk. As always, there's a mini set likely to be announced and coming out in the next couple of weeks, so be aware of that. But we're gonna go over, it's actually more than 10 decks. I gave some bonus ones for both Standard and Wild. And as a friendly reminder, we're on the road to 69,420 subs. Scrolls, hit that sub button. You feel like I've earned your sub and you want to join Nova, help us get to that next big milestone so we can do a giveaway. She doesn't want to see stacks. There might be scabs in one of the wild ones. So let's start off with Standard. Starting off with, yes, you're going to see, again, a lot of the same decks because, well, they're still just really good and the nerfs didn't really do much to change a lot of that, but it seems like Frost Death Knight might be the best Death Knight deck now. That's right. We've gone full circle and we've gone to the point where it was Unholy that's the best, and now it's maybe Frosty K, although Unholy I'm going to recommend later because it's still really good. And yeah, it's just the same old Frosty K. The newest cards from the latest set in here are the nerfed Rowdy Fan, as well as Pozic is in there. Incredibly good, especially if you play it early on. Like, your opponents just can't deal with it, right? And you push damage. You have Might of Menethral in here to push even more damage. Mirror Manipulate. You guys know the deck. You're probably sick of facing it, but overall, it's very effective. Death Knight is still really good, and you know, maybe we'll get real nerfs at some point so I can recommend some other decks, but I got some fun ones to recommend in just a little bit. Next, we have Undead Priest, which also got nerfed, which is still doing really well. By the way, I didn't put Pure Paladin on this list because at like higher ranks, it's still not doing amazingly well, but if you want to try Pure Paladin, that's doing very well too. But these decks have been proven at play like really well, are a little bit better. Anyways, Undead Priest, yeah, you've got Dark Bishop Benedictus in there for your Shadow Form hero power. You have all of your aggressive undeads. You can get value from your Mind Eater. This list, I believe, cut the Basilisk. It's not even bothering with it because it's 5 mana. It's too slow now, but you still have all this good aggression. You could probably put the Basilisk in there if you want to, if you still have it. But overall, it's the same deal. Pozic in here as well, and just go face a lot and kill your opponent. And then next, we have Big Demon Hunter. Another deck that got nerfed is also incredibly good. You could play Relics as well. I could recommend Relics. The only reason I'm picking Big Demon Hunter is it's just way easier to play. It's a much easier deck to play because, well, you don't have to do much other than try and draw Fellscale Evoker, play some spells while holding it, and then cheat out giant demons, and then bring them back with All Fel Breaks Loose, smarking your opponent down, and then you just have the absolutely broken combo. It's driving me crazy that it's still a thing, but Silvermoon Arcanist and Unleash Fel to do 3 lifesteal damage that also can burn face. You can just finish your opponent off with Dispose. It's just a very frustrating deck to face, but, you know, cheating out those big demons and only getting a 3/7 to go alongside with it is still really good. And yeah, Unholy Death Knight also still really strong, really good deck. The Necromancer is still worth running, really solid card. Blight Fang still worth running, really solid card. It's basically the same build as before in performing, you know, not as well, right? Like Necromancer dies to the Benedictus hero power now, but overall the deck is still ridiculously good. You still have one of the best cards in the deck in Hawkstrider Rancher not nerfed, where you can go into Swarm Guard. It's impossible, almost impossible to clear that board. And then Grave Strength. And if all comes down, you know, if you haven't been able to win, you also have Lord Marogar in there that can just win games outright by itself. Disgustingly good. And yes, this deck is still very dominant, but we'll go for 3 decks at the end here that are a little less on the safe train. I'm going to put them in order of strength, but Warrior, Riff Warrior, Rage Warrior, whatever you want to call it, is a good deck. It's playable. It's got a plus 50% win rate at like every level. It's been buffed to like 1 million times, basically. I discovered that you could build an entire deck in standard right now with buffed cards, just buffed cards. There's over 30 of them. And yeah, you have your Rifts in here, and basically Anima Extractor and Imbued Axe are the two broken cards still. They are the broken cards, and you could go like a big Anima turn with Wild Pyromancer or your Sun Fury Champion, just enraged, you know, damage your stuff, you can buff it up, and then all the while you're hand buffing like Grom, Remornia, Decimator Olgra, and you can outright OTK people depending on your anima turns and all of that. And it's I don't know, it's not my style of warrior deck. It's like, doesn't feel warrior to me. It's, I mean, a rage, I guess, but yeah, it's good. If you want to play warrior, this deck is definitely good. You can climb with it. It's just, it's not control warrior. It's not really a traditional deck. It's kind of reminiscent a little bit of like the risky skipper style, I guess. You know, you're doing your self-damaging stuff to your minions, the whirlwind. So that's there, I guess, but overall, it's just not my cup of tea for the most part, but people are doing well with it. The deck that, don't tell anybody, I don't play Priest. Wait, I played Priest a lot. We actually had a really good run on stream today, trying to save my hair. It's not going so well, trying to get top 500, but Control Priest is a pretty good deck. The games are really quite long. Brutal. You're to hate facing it, but the deck just is infinite value with your Sister's Falna. I know some people ETC it. I took this list from Meaty and I kind of modified it myself. I keep doing that where I click the ETC and delete it. Anyways, the ETC, I have audio amplifier in here. It's actually really nice in the slower games to get that extra hand size, and also, you know, 11 mana, especially with Falna. So I have Steam Cleaner in here for like the Rivendares and the Fizzles and Theotar to try and disrupt. But overall, yeah, it's you try and curve out with your early game, because the main weakness of this deck is actually against like really early game aggression, and then also uber greed. So you try and silence that and all of that. But I've been having some success with it. It's definitely a control style deck, but it also has the really gross stuff of, you know, Svalna, Identity Theft, Love Everlasting, Infinite Mana Cheat. It's pretty gross, pretty degenerate, but I've been enjoying it, and I'm gonna keep playing it and trying to save my hair with Priest of all things, because it's one of the only decks I could get working for me right now. And the last kind of out there recommendation, big old Thaddius Warlock. I had an insane win streak at one point with this deck, and then I'm now negative with it, so be aware of that. I'm negative with it, but it is a pretty fun deck to play, where you try and get your either Amorphous Slime, Void Color, cheat out a big demon, or you really want Slime. Slime's the best card in the deck. You get like Behemoth or Thaddius. You can do absurd stuff. You have Alex Strauss in here and Zola, because they become 1 mana with Thaddius. You can do really gross stuff, and the buff Symphony Sins is in here, but honestly hasn't felt super strong in the deck. And your only like anti-aggro is like Defile and Drain Soul. Super greedy deck. If you're not facing a lot of aggro, you can have a lot of fun with it. Farms like Blood DK and like the slower decks like that. But overall, definitely one you should be a little bit more wary of. And Wild, not super fun right now. Not super fun. I actually have 6 decks to recommend for Wild. I know the title said 10 or 5 or whatever, but I'm giving you guys bonus options, so take it for what it is. Quest Druid is arguably the best deck in the format right now. Yeah, that's right, Quest Druid. The Lost in the Park one, where you just smash face and draw cards for 0 mana with Spread the Word. You play so many spells that could get Umbra Owl, Crypt Keeper, Arcane Giant out for cheap. This list has like Solar Eclipse, Oracle of the Loon for some like combo shenanigans. There's so many different lists that all have a very similar shell, but basically complete your quest, go face a bunch, cheat out 0 mana minions, and it's pretty darn absurd. Next is the Kingsbane list I've been playing still. I'm just gonna recommend it. Some people have cut, I believe some people cut like Wicked Staff or Arcane Giant, so you can try that. The ETC, I didn't get rid of it. I have Evasion, Zeph, Lotheb, but make a giant weapon, kill your opponent with it. It's obviously weak to like sticky fingers and like freezes and stuff like that, so you might get hard countered, but overall it's pretty crazy, and I enjoy playing it, and I'm a bit of a degenerate, of course. Questline Demon Hunter has been kind of taking a storm as well, with the final showdown, which was reverted when it went to Wild. But basically you can draw your whole deck, you can cheat out your Ironhand Brutes or your Ironbound Brutes and your Vengeful Wallopers, but you can basically, once you complete your quest, play like king and just like rip through your opponent's deck and just play it, and it's really gross. This deck's super gross. I don't know how good it is. I haven't had a ton of success, but a lot of people have hit like top 10 legend with it. It looks very difficult to play. So one of the ones I will put out there that's probably a bit more like play at your own risk, but I will throw that out there because it is pretty crazy to play it. I will go with the safe picks, of course, of like Shudderwock Shaman, you know, play Shudderwock, you play Astalor 1,000 times, you have the broken Murloc stuff in there, you have ETC's band, got like Reno Disruption, Theotar, blah, blah, blah. It's Shudderwock Shaman, we've seen it a lot, it's still really good, as is even Shaman. Click the button, make totems, make them hard to kill your opponent with them, you can draw cards with Ancestral Knowledge, which was buffed recently. Really good deck. Again, bots consistently hit legend with it. And the last recommendation I'll throw out there, because I know a lot of people like playing Reno Priest, and Memnarch got like top 10 legend with the Reno Shadow Priest. And yeah, it's Reno Shadow Priest. It's more teched for like the Quest Druids and the Kingsbane Rogues and all of that. Try your best with it. Memnarch's a really good player, but overall, you even have like Void Touched Attendant in here for your Astalor combo. I believe that's what it's for with Astalor. If you play Void Touched in the final Astalor, it can do a ridiculous damage, but overall, just a lot of tech stuff in there. Got Raza, Anduin, Zeph, the usual deal, and hopefully you guys can have some success with these decks. Probably the last deck recommendation video. I might do a Heroic Brawl one. Maybe. We'll see how things evolve. Maybe I want to give you guys specific ideas if you want to waste your gold on that. Again, I'm going to have a video talking about like warning against it. But again, I kind of might throw deck stuff out there. But of course, when the mini set comes out and all of that, we'll have new deck recommendations and all that. But overall, as you can see, not a lot has changed. But hopefully you can find some decks you like here, have some fun, and hopefully climb that ladder. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.